Let's talk a little bit about why Rosanna is probably one of the worst units that NIKKE has released since the games came out, and why even most worlds are skipping this banner. Hello internets, welcome back to Waifus, and let's just get into the video. Before we start, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to help me grow the channel, and you can also support my content with the links in the description down below. Now, before we get into why she's so bad, two things. First, her personality. It's pretty good. I really like her as a waifu. I like her bond stories. I like her blah blah messages, and also advising her. That's pretty fun. The event itself, Queen's Order, I will say it's kind of mid, right? It has some good stuff, like when she's talking about her backstory with her family and all that, but then the event itself, I will say it's quite bad. I don't expect to have events at the same level of Overzone constantly, so this is completely fine. We got Overzone, which was amazing, then we got the Bunny Girls, which was pretty good, I will say, just bite and fan service, but it's still nice. And then we have this event, which is not the worst, but I won't say it's any good either. Now that said, there is 9 days left for Rosanna and 2 days left for Nor. If you are still on the fence or where you should be spending your resources, I will say save for next event. If you don't want to save, then get more. I don't think it's worth getting or spending your gems on Rosanna. In fact, most people need to at least spend 50 tickets to get her, so I will recommend not doing that. We are getting a lot of cool events after this, so either save your resources or pull for Nor, because she will help you a lot more than what Rosanna can do. Also, before we start criticizing Rosanna and roasting her, right, why she's so bad, if you like her, if you want to build her, there are not really a lot of options. The only option for the cube, it's going to be the Quantum Cube, because you want burst generation. She's using a machine gun, meaning on the current meta she sucks because she's not generating any burst energy. So you want the Quantum Cube. When it comes to skill priorities, 100% you want to go for burst, skill 2, and then skill 1. When it comes to overloaded gear and the priorities, you want attack. That's your main focus, because she's a nuker that wants to kill both enemy attackers. After attack, there's only 2 real options to go for, in my opinion. That's going to be more ammunition and also critical damage. The rest of the stats, I don't think they're going to be that important for her. You could try building her for defense, but I don't think that's a good option. Right now, defense doesn't scale that well if we compare it to attack or other stats. So you cannot really go with, let's say, Rosanna, focus it on defense, and then 2 units that you are going to sacrifice to get the buff on the attack with the frenzy. It's not going to work. We'll explain why in a second. So attack, ammunition, critical damage. Those are the 3 stats I will personally go for. Quantum Cube, and then the order to level up the skills: burst, skill 2, skill number 1. Now that said, let's get into why she is so bad. Where is she? Here. So she's not on my synchro anymore. There's no reason why she should be there, because I only have 25 slots and I need to prepare for solo raid, which is next week. So let's get into her kit, and let's start with skill number 1 on the lamp. This is the worst part of her kit. So activates after landing 100 normal attacks, affects herself, concealment. Now the problem with concealment, it's on paper, it's good, it's nice, right? She cannot be targeted for 10 seconds, but it's on only single target. How PvP works right now, it's the meta, it's using rocket launchers, having really fast burst generation, and also bursting first with a nuke AoE attack most of the time. Meaning she will lose concealment when she gets a splash damage from a rocket launcher. So if you have Rosanna Senti, if someone attacks Senti with a rocket launcher, then it will remove the concealment on Rosanna because the splash damage. So that sucks. Most teams are using rocket launchers right now in PvP. You will almost see no one that doesn't have them. Now, Rosanna on paper, it's a unit made to counter Jackal. To some extent, it can work, but once again, this is not going to be useful 90% of the time. Then she also has a little bit of critical rate, which is good, but nothing important. And then she has a really cool part of her kit, which is dispelling buff after landing 10 normal attacks. The problem is this only happens once per battle, meaning it is not going to be enough to justify using this, because for PvP could work sometimes, so you are reducing, the defense or whatever buff your enemy attacker have, because at the end of the day, Rosanna is a unit that focuses on killing the 2 enemy attackers. When that activates once per battle, you have a skill that's completely useless, because again, concealment is not going to work, and the critical rate, as good as it can be, it's only a small increase, and as she's using a machine gun, she could benefit from other stats more than the critical rate. So skill number 1, Rush. Could be worse. The Dispel can work sometimes, again, for the Jackal teams, but even Jackal teams can win against Rosanna because of the splash damage and concealment being completely useless. Now that said, let's move into skill number 2, which is Capo de Capi. Activates when entering battle, once again giving her concealment for the 3rd time. Concealment sounds good, but it's useless, at least on the current meta. And the meta is not going to change, right? At least so far. You want to burst fair, nuke the enemy team, have the advantage. The second part of her career though, it's pretty interesting, and that's the frenzy, right? Anytime a NIKKE dies, be it on your team or the enemy team, she will get a frenzy buff, increasing her attack, stacking up to 10 times, and you can fill your burst gauge also by a small percentage. Now, filling the burst gauge, it's nice, but it's not going to be the main part. The main part is the attack buff. What's the problem with this? The strategy of using what I wanted to do, right? Having Rosanna and then a couple units that are trash, it's not going to work for one simple reason: combat power deficit. The penalty applies in PvE and in PvP. So good luck, going with Rosanna and then 2 level 1 units or 2 trash units, because you're going to be losing a lot of power, and it's going to be even harder challenging those people that are above you. Same thing with building the burst gauge. Again, this sounds good because it's like, okay, I can get my burst faster, but once again, if you are using a NIKKE at level 1 or maybe a NIKKE at level 200 without gear so it can die faster, you are losing a lot of combat power. The difference between a level 200 with gear or without gear is a lot, and most people are using overloaded gear, so it's stupid to go without the strategy, sadly, because I really wanted that to work. That could be really fun. That's not how it's going to work either. So skill number 2, it's good. The frenzy attack buff that you are getting, it's nice, but it's still not enough. The concealment part, we can ignore it. So that said, let's move into her final skill, which is the burst skill, Vendetta. This affects 2 enemy attacker units, dealing a lot of damage, and also if she's in concealment, she will deal even more damage. Now, Rosanna, it's a nuker for the enemy attackers, and she does a great job at that, but that's literally the only reason you will be bringing her into PvP. And at that point, even if you are losing some skills, you probably want to bring another big 3 that can nuke the enemy team completely and also provide utility for your team, not only the big damage, because the big number damage are nice. Units are more versatile than just having a burst skill, because again, the rest of her kit is not that great, even if we are talking about PvP itself. So unless she is like your perfect waifu, I would not recommend getting Rosanna, not pulling for her and not wasting your resources. If you want her for collection, I will say wait until she's added into the normal pool, because she is not a limited character, meaning you will be able to put her on your wishlist here after a couple patches probably. I'm guessing they will add both Bunny Girls and Rosanna at the same time. We'll see what they do with that. That's just my guess. Now, all that said, we're going to be doing a live stream later today. Leading chapter 22, we are at the boss. We are finally at Dragon Mummy, descent from the sky. The usual 10 gems that you get for completing the fights. Always fun to see that. I had a really fun time testing Rosanna. I really wanted her to work. It's just not feasible in my opinion. She's not going to be meta in PvP anytime soon. I don't even think she is like even high ranking. When it comes to the tier list, there are just better options, and you don't have to spend gems. You probably already have those options. So all that said, let me know what you think about Rosanna. Let me know if you are pulling for her. I hope you are not. If you are pulling for her, let me know if you enjoy using her. Like always, thank you for making my content possible. Thanks to all my patrons. You can join them with the links in the description down below. Good luck with your pool dinner, and see you in the next one.